On the record in cause number 321576, the state of Texas versus Gerald Wayne Barnes. Mr. Barnes, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Barnes, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barnes, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Barnes? That's good, Mr. Barnes. The information states that on or about March 17th of 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, you were charged with the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A. Mr. Barnes, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Barnes, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're actually guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barnes, I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. It's titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Barnes, there are a set of initials next to your attorney's initials down here. Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature at the top of this document on above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled the Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature down here on this document?
Yes, sir, it is.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box says that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box says that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I have another document here. This document is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Barnes, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature down here on this document?
It is.
Now, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Lane, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lane, you have advised and counseled Mr. Barnes. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Barnes, your attorney, Mr. Lane, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barnes, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, and it's for 180 days to be probated over 12 months, a $500 fine plus court costs, 60 hours community service, a drug and alcohol assessment, and a dismissal of clause number 321514.
Hey, Mr. Lane, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you will be on probation for 12 months. During this probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $452. You'll also be required to pay a $100 reimbursement fee to the crime lab. And you'll be required to pay $60 per month for your probation fees. And you'll be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 per month. Now, this comes to a total per month of $165 a month. Would you be able to pay that amount per month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service and participate in the drug and alcohol assessment as a condition of this probation. And you will also have to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of probation. Now, Mr. Barnes, do you understand? And as the other thing is, the state will be dismissing cause number 321514. Now, Mr. Barnes, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Barnes, you can stand on the X where your attorney is standing, and you'll follow the directions of the deputy county clerk. Mr. Barnes, have a good day.
And Your Honor, I submitted the dismissal on that other case.
Okay, and we will be signing that dismissal as well.